feels better.
Yeah.
It feels better. It feels better. It feels better, Mama.
It is.
Good morning. The first clip of this day was messed up for some reason, so do a little voiceover to get us through to where I was working again. The beginning part of this day, I talk about the dangers of solvent-based varnish and how I had given myself a nasty headache over the past couple days. But I kind of made a whole video about that, and so the rest of today I'm going to spend working on the jamb for my doors, my atrium doors that I've been working on. So I'm going to start by taking these boards that I have clamped up here. The last time I was working on these, I had put a tongue and groove on each edge to be able to widen these boards to get the jamb width I'm looking for. I had accidentally ordered 1x6 when I needed 1x8, so it ended up working out because the rips I took off of the 1x6s I needed for the jamb. You know, just extra work, but didn't cost me anything. But so the first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull these boards out and scrape off the glue and maybe sand them up a little bit, see how they look. I was sanding that and I was thinking about this planer. This planer I got via my dad from my uncle. Same uncle that I got the joiner from. And I thought, why not try this out, see if this works. I haven't even messed with it, so I'll run a piece of scrap wood first through just to see what it does, and then if it works, then I'll run these through, and that'll make sanding go a lot easier. But I was noticing that, it's funny, they probably used this on a job site and they didn't even pull the plastic off. It's funny. Just went to town. That's how working the trades is. You just plug it in and go. You don't mess around. Okay, I don't blame them one bit for leaving this stupid plastic on there. I'm gonna sit there for half an hour picking this stuff off. God. It just keeps breaking. That's probably what happened. They probably started picking it off. They're like, screw this. That's what I'm about to do. I'm going to set up the table saw because right now the router's there, and then I'll rip these down to the proper width, because right now they're 7.5 and they need to be 6 7/8. And then this will also make the making of the molding really handy, because I have to plane down the molding to just the right width of 11/16. Right now this stuff is about 13/16, so I have to take about an 1/8 inch off the thickness. So this will make that really easy, and the blades seem really sharp. They're not leaving any lines. You can see Really nice smooth cut, so it's like the plastic says, it's pretty much brand new still. So I'm really glad I had this. Thank you, Mark. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of going through and figuring out which side I want out. Oop, sorry. Which side will be the prettiest out, and then I'm gonna sand and get it pretty. But I need to get the little router out and get the 1/8 inch round over and hit the edges. And I also need to put a square cut on it and do the rabbets. But first I wanted to pick which side was going to be the side I'm showing, because that's the side that's going to get the rabbet. And I'm going to start with 80 grit sandpaper, because that way I just get right through any of the glue and stuff. And then step it up to 120, 150, and then 220. It should make it look very nice. That's good. First I was using the little guide that comes with my router, but then I took that off and used a big 12-inch square, speed square instead, and just clamped that on as a guide. And basically right here I'm just going through and double checking my measurements so that I can cut these Jamb pieces to length. Just right over the house to double check my measurements, and then chopped them up and carried on. Oh. Oh, it's so mind-numbing. Well, one more pass. One more pass with 220 and I'll be done. Oh, my headphones died, so I'm just listening to the sounds of the sander. Oh boy. Okay, almost there. Okay, so more camera audio difficulties, apparently. I think here I'm just explaining the molding and how I'm going to use the planer to plane down these pieces to the final dimensions. And I think I'm talking about how the scraps I have just enough wood, like it worked out just perfectly, so that I have long enough pieces to do the molding for both doors. Anyways, I'm going to get to it and run these pieces through to get them to their finished size. And then I also got to... hey, Artemis. That's Artemis sharpening his claws rudely in the middle of this. You done? You done? Okay, anyways, I'm going to get to this, get the pieces down to the final size, use the router to round over one of the edges and get them sanded up so that I want to finish all four sides of these pieces, so that way when they go in, don't have to worry about them, or that way they'll last, hopefully last as long as possible. Can't get much better than that. I should have set this thing up a lot sooner. It worked really nice. Okay, so now I finished up with the molding pieces, and now I'm going to jump onto the threshold. So I'm going to pull my piece down, and I set up the saw to cut some bevels on the edges so that it's not a trip hazard. Woo. Okay, so look at that. It's beautiful. You can see the nice beveled edges, and I rounded everything. Oh yeah, look at this wood grain in here. It's pretty neat. I don't know if you can tell on camera. You know, bubbly, splotchy wood grain. Kind of cool. That should make a really nice threshold. It looks so short just sitting here. Yeah, it's 6 feet. Okay, I'm gonna throw it with its friends. And I can go ahead and, oh, I thought there was a mark. See these lights, it seems bright, but it's not really that bright. It's not. I should be using another light, but I really don't care that much. It's gonna look pretty. As long as it's pretty from 5 feet away, what difference does it make? It's been a long day. Ooh. So let's send the drone out, see what that looks like. God, it feels good to have all those pieces done and made and ready for staining, and I can move on. But for the most part, the doors are mostly done. We'll see how the process goes from here. Once I get another coat on there and I start to see how it starts to look, because right now it's pretty splotchy, it's hard to tell how it's going to turn out, but I think it's going to be nice. But anyways, back to flying the drone. I'll see you on the next one.